Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this fantastic webinar. And our topic for today is using technology to augment CCTV systems in the post-COVID era. It is indeed my privilege to introduce to you today's speaker, Rohit Chabria of CEBEX Security Solutions. I have this privilege as I've known Rohit for over 30 years, and he is in this business for over 23 years, has executed hundreds of projects pan-India, including many for my own clients. Rohit has always been at the forefront of new technology with an approach to solve problems, add value, and keep the client's interests above everything else. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear what our expert Rohit Chabria has to share about using technology to augment CCTV systems in the post-COVID era. Over to you, Rohit. All the best.
Thank you, Vikram. I am very, very happy that you have introduced me. It's always a pleasure and a privilege. Welcome everyone to this webinar where we're going to talk about how we can use technology, especially CCTV related technology, to augment your current systems and go forward in this post-COVID era and the challenges that we are facing. Again, thank you all for making the time. I really do appreciate it. We can start off because we've kept this webinar for just a period of 60 minutes and there's a lot of ground to cover. So without much ado, we will start off right away. So the agenda for today is quite simple. I will introduce you to CEBEX, my company. This session, I already told you why we are doing it, because there is a lot of technology out there. We need to understand which is the right technology to implement and why. I will talk briefly about CCTV health monitoring systems. We will talk about vision-based solutions, which include analytics, artificial intelligence, and facial recognition. We will be using these in both as regular solutions and also with specific requirement in this post-COVID era. We will also talk about thermal and other contactless solutions going forward. And after that, we will have a brief question and answer session. All right. So we start off right away, just giving you a little bit of introduction to my company, CEBEX. We have been in the following verticals for 23 years now. We do all CCTV and related solutions. In the access and attendance space, we have all kinds of solutions which are contact and contactless. We have been executing projects in the fire alarm and fire intrusion alarm space. We also specialize in design consultancy, which is just designing and auditing solutions, not necessarily implementing them. We work as consultants in that regard. We also obviously undertake AMCs for all the products and solutions that we sell. And in some cases, also for solutions that may not have been supplied by us. And of course, we are going to talk about some thermal solutions. That's also something that we have been doing, especially of late. The online verticals, what you just saw was the offline project space. In the online space, we have CamCheck, which is our revolutionary CCTV remote health monitoring tool. And like I mentioned, vision solutions for CCTV, which include video analytics, facial recognition, augmented or artificial intelligence. Let's start off with CamCheck. And as the name suggests, it's just a tool to check your cameras. It's basically a remote health monitoring solution, RHMS. This particular technology has been powered by Ensiplon. Ensiplon are the back end for the Mumbai city surveillance, and they have powered our system CamCheck as well. And what it does basically is it monitors the systems, all your CCTV components in a CCTV system. That could mean hard disk, it could mean cameras, the DVR or NVR, etc. And it also gives alerts in case of any downtime. The alerts are pretty much real time. It is a VMS, which in typical terms, as far as technology is concerned, would be a video monitoring solution. But we are not a video monitoring solution per se. I will explain that to you as we go along. That's why the asterisk there. And we also use CamCheck as a very effective auditing tool to ensure that compliance is there, that the systems that are installed are being maintained correctly over a period of time, especially for management. And in some cases, even government authorities who might want compliance records. So why CamCheck, and why not have a person sitting and watching this all the time? Why not some other solution? Well, the reason why CamCheck is important is because it gives you real-time alerts when your system goes down. Typical problem with CCTV is that after a system goes down, you come to know only after sometimes days, weeks, even months that there's been an incident, and that's the time you realize that either the technology has failed in terms of cameras or a connection or a hard disk, and hard disks are the worst. You never come to know until an incident has occurred, and sometimes it's a few months later. CamCheck also, because it's fully automated. We don't have operators sitting 24/7 and monitoring the CCTV feed, primarily because A, it's not cost effective, and B, operators being humans are subject to all the uncertainties of human error. Again, why CamCheck? Because it's cloud-based. Being cloud-based, it ensures that if there is any incident at your place, for example, God forbid there is a fire at your client's place, the fact that we have kept records, we will know exactly what happened just a few minutes before the fire, because we are taking photographs every 5 minutes. While we do call it a cloud-based solution, there are certain people who might want it on-prem, that's on their premises. That option is available as well for higher security applications. Why CamCheck? Because we are brand agnostic, which basically means our software talks directly, sitting on the cloud, to all kinds of OEMs, whether they are Hikvision, CP+, Dahua, all the big OEMs, all the common OEMs. And we are brand agnostic in the sense that multiple OEMs can be checked and reported in a single interface. Okay, so we're moving on. I'm quickly going to show you a 3.5-minute video on CamCheck. Hope your audio is turned up nicely. You can hear this video watch it as well.
Did you know almost 25% of all CCTV systems have health and connectivity issues, most of which are discovered only after an untoward incident occurs? TV screens show us live CCTV images, but recording is often lost due to hard disk failure. Employing dedicated staff to check CCTV system health can be really expensive. CEBEX brings you CamCheck CHMS, CCTV Health Monitoring Solutions, our unique, fully automated cloud-based service that monitors all facets of your CCTV system every 5 minutes. How CamCheck works. CamCheck will automatically ping any analog or IP CCTV camera, DVR or NVR every 5 minutes and generate a real-time report which you can access on the internet through any device. CamCheck will also email daily reports as well as alert mails every time a camera or hard disk stops working or when it comes back online again. CamCheck allows you to create multiple groups of DVRs or NVRs across multiple locations and allot different user rights to different categories of users. Alert mails and daily reports may also be sent based on these user rights. During every 5-minute check, CamCheck can optionally store a snapshot of each camera on our cloud servers and retain these for up to 7 days. This will help in quick review of multiple camera snapshots on a single interface. Advantages of CamCheck. Massive cost saving as compared to retaining manpower to check CCTV systems. Enhanced ROI on your CCTV system investment. CamCheck works with existing analog, HD or IP CCTV systems, and CEBEX can also provide hardware for new installations or upgrades that you may require. Reduction of downtime of CCTV systems. CamCheck reporting parameters include camera disconnection or failure, hard disk malfunction or removal, time mismatch, network or password issues. CamCheck can automatically send up to 3 daily reports and unlimited failure alert mails, thereby offering a real-time failure reporting tool for your CCTV systems. The system may also be configured to automatically send a complaint registration mail to your CCTV maintenance vendor. Basically, CamCheck provides a single consolidated interface and reporting tool for quick review of CCTV health and images. CamCheck also fulfills compliance requirements and saves on BMS operator or guard costs. CamCheck provides a cloud-based record as additional insurance against DVR theft or destruction. So who needs CamCheck? Schools, school buses and tuition centers, malls and cinemas, hotels, housing societies and gated communities, multiple chain stores and quick service restaurant chains, large retail stores, corporate offices, factories and warehouses, residences, and the list can go on and on. So contact CEBEX Security Systems to get your 1 month free no obligation trial of CamCheck today.
So this was the CamCheck video that you just saw. We also have a demo interface, and I'm not going to go through that in too much detail, just a couple of features to show you that it works in real time. If you can see my screen, I would appreciate a single hi or hello, or can see the screen on the chat. I'll just quickly run you through the interface. If I get the moment I get a reply, yes, thank you. Okay, so as you can see this particular screen. These are all the DVRs in a particular group. DVRs or NVRs are basically the devices that are used to record the CCTV systems. And over here, you can see the name of the device, the time that it was last checked, that was 14:08. Okay, that was a little over an hour ago. If I refresh this page, you will see a real-time check even now, a few minutes ago. The interface can either check it every 5 minutes or every 1 hour based upon which account is being used. Now you can see the time has changed to 15:08 because I just refreshed the page. Various IP parameters, the green indicates the health of those IP parameters is all right. 15:07 indicates the time that it was checked, time that was showing on the DVR when it was checked, which basically means it was 1 minute off. That gives us an idea that our DVR is not got the perfect time either. This is the health of the cameras. Anything in red indicates that the camera at that point of time is not working. So how CamCheck basically works is we take a snapshot. I'll just show you that. We take a snapshot of the system at every 5-minute interval or every 1 hour interval, depending on which account. And when all the photographs that are stored in our CamCheck server show up at that point of time, as you can see like this, and then you come to know, like it says here, camera number 1 is red. It shows here camera number 1 has no video, and then you come to know that a system is working or not. It also sends real-time alerts, not just in the interface if you're logged on, but you also get alerts over your email if there is any issue. I can see there are some people raising their hands. I hope it's only to say that the video audio is okay. And in case there are any questions, there is a question and answer box. You can put your questions over there. At the end of this session, we will be taking question and answers. I have only one request. Let's keep your questions more on the technical side and not on the commercial side. If there's any commercial related questions, my email ID is there on the screen at the end of this PPT. You're welcome to get in touch with me with regards to that. So going back to the presentation, okay, this was just a quick demo to show you. We have this data available for 30 days with us, whether it's photographs or the tabular data. And at any point of time, this data can also be downloaded as an Excel file if required. That was as far as CamCheck is concerned. And some more details about CamCheck. You do need to understand there are certain prerequisites on how CamCheck works. Since we are specifically a cloud monitoring system, we don't have any hardware or software installed at the client end. So we have a IP that is required, obviously require an address to go check the CCTV systems. So an IP address is required. We require either a static or a dynamic IP. A cloud IP will not work. Okay. We need to ensure that the ports are correctly forwarded so that we can query the DVR or the NVR correctly. So the port forwarding needs to be done correctly. Obviously, in order to talk to the DVR, we need to have the credentials of that particular device. Hence, we need the username and the password with rights to query the said DVR for the data that is required in order to check the health of the systems. And we also need the user rights, like I said, correctly. We don't need admin rights, but we do need user rights, all the user rights in order to query. Otherwise, the system will not, system might throw up garbled information. Now, why these prerequisites are being mentioned over here is our technology works on a particular principle where we have written code to actually talk to multiple brands, multiple models, multiple series physically for each particular brand, series, model, not to mention firmware. So this code has been put into a large database, and this code is coming out based on which model you choose to query. Hence, we need all these prerequisites to ensure that we are getting the data correctly, because we are not, I repeat again, not installing any hardware or software at the client end at all. All of this is being done remotely, and we are talking directly to the device or the cameras in question. Okay. We also, because of this fact that everything has been coded separately for multiple models, design, the series, etc., firmware, we also offer a free demo for all clients to come on board, check the system for a few weeks, satisfy themselves about the efficacy of the system before they decide to choose to subscribe to this service or not. That's as far as CamCheck goes. Again, I'm always available offline for a larger demo. Since this webinar is only 60 minutes, we are going to fall short of time, hence I am moving on. But if there's queries, either we can take them after the session or we can talk about it offline any point of time. I'm available to discuss with anyone who has any queries. All right, so we move on to the second part of the webinar, which basically talks about vision-based solutions. Now, basically, vision-based solutions are work how we process the CCTV data that is coming to us through various streams on the CCTV, and then we use those results to do certain actions. Those actions might be reporting, there might be analysis, there might be triggering of alarms, there might be logging in attendance systems. It's just taking those streams, processing the images correctly, deciphering the data that is required from said images, and then giving a result. So vision solutions typically include video analytics, which have been around for quite a while now, with certain OEMs offering the analysis in DVRs, NVRs, and video management softwares by themselves. Another kind of vision-based solution is facial recognition, used in high security areas and now soon making its way into attendance as well. We've had face readers for a while, but walk-through attendance, I'm talking about walking through CCTV cameras, is basically how processing, high-end processing of facial recognition works. And of course, apart from FR, we also have AI and DL, which is basically artificial intelligence or augmented intelligence, whichever way you look at it, along with deep learning. What happens is we have now developed the ability to take streams of data and make our algorithm, which works in the backend, decipher those streams. And in case they cannot decipher, we make them learn from those streams so that the results of such deciphering become better with time. And that is another way of just saying it's deep learning. These are the vision-based solutions. There are certain constraints with vision-based solutions. And just like we spoke about the constraints that were there with CamCheck, I would like to point out these constraints, especially to all the technical-minded people over here, because a lot of you would further be selling these systems forwards to your clients if you are in the system integration space. So do understand that with vision-based technology, there is certain amount of practical constraints. One of them is, of course, the hardware spec. So typically when you're processing a large amount of data, there is a certain amount of hardware spec needed to process that data. A simple i3 machine would probably not be able to process facial recognition parameters, and that's quite common sense. Second is bandwidth, sometimes internal bandwidth within a LAN network, and in case you're using the cloud to process data, and that also has a fair few riders with it. If you are using the cloud to process the data, obviously bandwidth is imperative, and mind you, even sometimes a lot of us make errors in calculating the bandwidth even internally within the network, and we buy high spec cameras but don't provide for enough bandwidth with the network switches, etc., to process such data, or don't have good processors. The third important parameter for processing vision-based solutions is, of course, resolution and bitrate. Again, those of you familiar with these terms who've been in the trade for a while will understand that obviously the better the resolution, the better the processing is going to be, the better the result and the output. However, it's a catch-22, because if you go for too high a resolution, you need to have a higher processor spec as well. And last but not the least is the fact that camera angles are important. For example, if you want to run a facial recognition parameter and have a camera at 16 feet with a door typically 6 feet tall or 8 feet tall, it's going to give you trouble. So you do need to make sure that your angles are correct. And for that, obviously, there is a certain amount of technical know-how required at the installation and sometimes the configuration stage as well. So this is where, projects versus products come into play, where you're looking to run very high-end vision-based solutions or parameters. You will require high-end processing power, which typically makes it a project-based solution, wherein you go install a server at the client's place to process the data that is required. It could mean facial recognition, could be perimeter protection, it could be artificial intelligence for multiple parameters like wearing mask or not. In that case, you require the processing power at the client end if the number of cameras is large. However, if the number of cameras is small, putting high-end spec computers, etc., at multiple locations, which have say 1 or 2 cameras, makes the project unfeasible. In that scenario, we go to the product side of things, wherein we have a product-based solution that's sold off the counter. We use cloud-based solutions to process the data and give the desired results without spending too much on servers, etc., at the client locations. We keep our high processing servers on the cloud and process multiple location-based cameras, subject to, please remember, good bandwidth and decent resolution. All right. So a few of the applications for AI and facial recognition, etc., is your people counting. You can count number of people. You can check if there's intrusion, whether people are wearing helmets or masks for that matter. You can count objects. You can blur screens in certain sensitive areas. You can check whether someone's worn a mask or not in these COVID times. You can ensure that social distance is being carried out correctly in an automated fashion with our software. You can check if certain areas are being overcrowded. Where all these applications can be used? Well, pretty much everywhere. Pardon me. People counting can be used in the retail or the QSR segments. Intrusion, jewelry, corporate offices where there are safes. NBFC, helmet, similarly ATM, also an NBFC, whether someone's wearing a helmet into the ATM. You can count objects. I'll show you a small example. In manufacturing, warehousing, and screen blurring can be used in BPOs, insurance. In the COVID scenario, pretty much every office, factory, or bank will require to know masks are being worn or not. Social distancing, every society, hospital, club, and these are just a few examples I'm giving you, obviously. And in overcrowding, every mall, restaurant, office will need to ensure that going forward we are not overcrowding, because things are going to open up soon, and that will be the norm. So these systems will become very, very imperative going forward, might even be used as a means of compliance depending upon what directives are issued by the government. I'm going to run you through a few videos really, really quickly. They're not going to be very long, just a few seconds at most, or a minute. This particular video shows you how the screens of multiple monitors on the screen that you can see are blurred, as well as a people counting. You can see the number 4 on the left hand side. I'm going to play the video now, and as I play the video, you will see that a person will enter from the door on the far left corner. The count of that 4 will automatically go up to 5. And when a person enters from the bottom of the screen, the count will go up to 6. And this is basically used as a tool to ensure, say you want to count in retail space project-wise, someone wants to know if there's an average, what's the average occupancy of a certain area, either in an office or a BPO or a retail space. And this is how basically your count solution over AI works. This can also be done, like I said, on-prem, or can be done over the cloud as well. And you can get an average count over an hour, over a week, over a month, depending upon which parameter, obviously, that you wish to use. Okay, that's as far as counting is concerned. Our next video is showing FR that is used for attendance. You can see these people walking through. They have been onboarded into the system, obviously, and as they pass through the camera, notice the camera is at a height where their face is clearly seen. This is a prerequisite. You will require a decent height camera. You cannot put it at 10 and 11 and 12 feet and expect 100% results. There will be some inaccuracies, but if you do it correctly, you can make certain that you have good results as well. We have AI used as a product counting, not just counting, but identification. In this video, you will see a particular cement bag being lifted. The software, the algorithm has been taught to recognize that shape and size as a cement bag. And when it crosses a particular threshold, you will see at the bottom right corner, the count changes and moves upward once it crosses that particular threshold. So this is another application. I'm just showing you 2 or 3 quick applications. Sky's the limit as far as applications are concerned. It depends completely on your ability to think how a solution can be implemented. Right now on the product side, what you saw is obviously on a project side where we've customized it for customer requirements specifically. But on a product side where we have worked with existing systems, this video was done on the 26th of April, where we took one of our colleagues in his house in Bangalore and told him, please, can you wear a mask and come in front of the camera? It's an IP camera. We are processing the feed. And this particular camera and this particular video can show you whether the gentleman in question is wearing a mask or not wearing a mask. Now, this is, again, generic. It's not customized for a client in particular, but it's just a solution that's being offered right now. And as you can see, when the mask is removed, It shows you no mask. We also have the ability to recognize masks which are dark and light both. So this is a mask no mask video that we have shown you to demonstrate our capability, the AI capability in this particular parameter. The next video is a social distancing video that we have made. You will see again we use the same subject and his dad, who's sweetly volunteered to help us out with this experiment. You can see that when he's less than 1 meter away, a red line comes in. We define the social distancing parameter as 1 meter. We can define it as what we want. When he goes under 1 meter, there is a red line which can trigger an alert in your system, which could be visual, audible, email, SMS, any alert that you want in real time, and say that social distancing is not being maintained. This particular video shows you how we execute that particular parameter in question. Some of you will have queries that these are difficult to implement in lockdown. Well, yes, if you need to add cameras specifically for these purposes, until such time that all areas are opened up. We sitting in Mumbai know there's a lot of red zones and not many things have opened up. Certain parts of the country they have. But the fact of the matter is that during lockdown, how will we install the camera? Well, we can use existing analog or IP camera setups, again, subject to the fact that they have a decent resolution. How can we configure these IP parameters if the IT people are not ready or available at site? Well, as long as we liaise with them over the phone or over remote desktop, we have the ability to configure the ports that are needed for us to get this data online as well. And how can we install a server to run these analytics and artificial intelligence parameters? Well, we can actually do it from our own cloud where our servers are already configured with our software. Again, subject to bandwidth and subject to decent resolution. If it does go into a project stage, obviously where someone says, I have 50 cameras in my factory, I need them processed. Well, you can't practically over the internet process 50 cameras from a single location, because you're probably going to have a little bit of problems with the streams coming uninterrupted over network because of certain bandwidth issues that may or may not arise. Okay, so video solutions over cloud, and that's what I said, that's what takes care of the bandwidth issues. But in case, despite that, we still have bandwidth issues, well, what we are doing right now is we are using CamCheck, which, as you saw, is a solution that takes photographs every 5 minutes. We are now working on a solution with our AI partners where we take CamCheck, we give them the photographic data rather than sending them heavy video streams. And that photographic data can be used for deep learning and to analyze certain parameters. Obviously, if a photograph is taken 5 minutes ago, you're not going to get real-time alerts for social distancing and mask wearing. Alerts will be deferred over some amount of time. But at the same time, if you wish to run analysis as a large company as to whether your offices across the world are compliant, whether they are actually wearing the masks as they are supposed to, whether they are maintaining social distance, then using this evidence, this photographic evidence, it becomes a lot simpler to process huge amounts of data from multiple offices rather than relying on heavy video streams, which make it a little impractical in case the volumes in question become large. So wherever the volumes are large, we are looking at this solution to integrate CamCheck, our health monitoring solution, which will not just tell you whether all your CCTV systems are working correctly or not, but also store photographs, provide you an auditing tool, help in compliance, and now going forward, even help in COVID compliance to ensure that things are being properly done at the offices. If you guys have read the papers today, there's some serious talk about the corporate world having to imbibe practices with regards to compliance, with regards to masks and social distancing and various other parameters like temperature checking and things like that. So these were the two offline solutions that I spoke to you about. But going forward, there's also a few other solutions in the COVID space which are available and of course would require a certain amount of hardware in most cases to be installed. So I'll just run you through them in a quick 5-minute run through. There are thermal CCTV cameras which actually take the temperature of either one or multiple people at one point of time and keep record to again ensure that compliance is there and or provide real-time alerts as well. There are also many handheld thermal devices now available in case someone wishes to screen one individual at a time, probably keep a guard at the security gate and ensure that people are being screened correctly. and get real-time alerts, inaudible alerts as beeps, etc. So yes, there are handheld thermal cameras available as well. There are many offices, factories, etc. that are now investigating possibilities of terminal-based solutions, which are basically nothing but an access control device mounted on a wall or on a stand, wherein a person simply stands in front of that thermal terminal, so to say, for a few seconds or less than a few seconds, and is given access into a particular area based on the parameters being met, that they don't have any high temperature or wearing a mask, etc. And then there are thermal based access control devices which also have the mask and the facial recognition built into them, not just the fact that temperature can be checked, but whether the person entering is indeed an employee that has been entered into the system, and whether that person is wearing a mask or not. So those solutions are also now available with multiple OEMs across the country. Of course, we are offering the same as well, depending solely upon the client's specific requirement. The solution obviously is proposed. It's not a one size fits all. And this is where we always say that the solution needs to be tailor-made for the client. One of our thermal camera partners is IDIS. It's a Korean company that we are dealing with, and their thermal cameras have a unique thermal overlay which allows them to integrate a thermal image with a regular video image on top of it, so recognition is also possible. In most cases, thermal cameras don't have recognition possible. Obviously, we can detect multiple people using these thermal cameras at one point of time with temperature. Multiple people can be checked at one point of time. Though I am saying this, going forward, I'm sure that norms will be changed and people will be asked to enter one at a time, or in a proper queue, maintaining social distance. But yes, in areas which are crowded like train stations or bridges or places like that, multiple people can also be checked. We are now integrating this thermal data along with artificial intelligence to form learning patterns as to movement patterns of people with, without temperature, etc. And IRIS cameras also have the distinction of allowing multiple point thermal detection in one frame. So a single image can have certain temperature at this end and a certain temperature at that end, and vice versa. So that's thermal cameras for you. Contactless attendance is again going to become a norm going forward. The people who started off with RFID cards and then went on to fingerprints are now wondering why they went on to fingerprints, because fingerprints are not going to be used that often anymore. People are going to change and either go into face readers, which again have been around for a while. But what we are promoting is a very different kind of contactless attendance. The one on the right is again a terminal which I already spoke about that detects temperature, mask, as well as facial recognition. But the image on the left, where we are showing you a Bluetooth and a GPS device, is a particularly interesting solution that we are promoting, which basically allows everybody's phone in their hands to become an access control device. How this works is when an employee walks into an office, his phone or her phone simply talks to either a Bluetooth device or another phone at that premises, which is designated as a receiver, and attendance is marked automatically on a cloud server with all compliances taking place at the back end automatically. The bonus as far as this solution is concerned is you have absolutely no requirement of any additional hardware at sites. So supposing you need to reach 50 sites across the country and you need to reach them immediately, and there's no way to dispatch 50 attendance recording machines. Well, this solution is really simple. It's a subscription-based model. You simply subscribe, add the app onto various mobile phones, and you're ready to go. Not only that, does it use Bluetooth beaconing to log attendance within the office premises, it also uses GPS as a corroborative tool to ensure that geofencing has been done, and the same GPS tool can also be used for all staff that is on the field. They could be sales staff, technical staff, they could be couriers. So anyone who needs to go to field can use the same device as a GPS attendance logger outside of the office premises, and as a GPS cum Bluetooth attendance logger inside of the office premises. So just to run you through a quick summary, which will leave us a good 15 minutes to answer any questions that might be there. Why we had this session? Well, to understand what are the solutions going forward in the post-COVID era. I ran you through CamCheck, our unique health monitoring tool, which monitors the health of CCTV systems, brand agnostic, sitting on a cloud anywhere in the world. Every 5 minutes allows you photographs. And there's one feature that I didn't show you. It even allows you to monitor all those cameras, the photographs of those cameras, not streams, because we are trying to be light. So it allows you to see all the photographs of those cameras in a single screen, even though they are at multiple locations and with multiple brands, and allows you to customize the grid and the feel of that screen as well. So it's not a video management solution. We call it a VMS, a video monitoring solution. So not managing your video streams, but we are allowing you to monitor your cameras and ensure that you can see some small amount of video footage available as time-lapse video, and also have the photographs available to you for 30 days in case you want to refer back. Using our interface, you can also on a single click go into the web interface for any particular DVR or NVR. The next thing we spoke about was vision-based solutions, which I explained to you involves analytics, artificial augmented intelligence, facial recognition, and then I explained to you how projects would differ from products, and processing speed, etc. Graphic cards, etc. become important when the amount of data is more. I spoke about COVID-based solutions going forward, which are attendance, thermal, artificial intelligence-based solutions, mask, no mask, social distancing, etc. And how integration of CamCheck along with AI will be the way forward in order to reduce bandwidth, which is always at a premium. And we spoke a little bit about thermal cameras and related solutions. I am now ready to take questions and answers through the Q&A box. I can see that already are a few questions over there. So if anyone has any question and answers, all those who raised your hand, I will request you to put in your questions into the question and answer chat box. And Vaibhav, if you can unmute yourself and probably read out some of those questions to me, because I may not be able to look at the screen at the same time as I answer the questions. If you could just unmute yourself and read out the questions. The first couple of questions that I can see this is, do you have thermal access control integrated? Yes, we do have that. I showed you that product that is available. So yes, we can do that. Okay.
Okay, sir. One more question for Jilesh Javedi. Which brand we would recommend for Bluetooth option?
Which brand? The brand of the phone. Well, the brand of the phone doesn't matter really, whichever brand. As far as the solution is concerned, the solution that we are integrating is a brand called Roll Call, which we will be offering you. Does this work with all IP cameras? Yes, the solution for AI will work with all IP cameras as long as the stream can be made available to us over the net. And as far as on-prem is concerned, there's no problem.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir, but Mr. Zaveri asking brand of the solution, sir.
Yeah. Jilesh, the brand of which solution exactly are you referring to?
Bluetooth, sir. Bluetooth-based attendance option.
That's what I said. The software that we are going to be using for the Bluetooth-based solution is Roll Call. That's the software at the back end that I'm referring to.
Okay. There is one more question from Mr. Jayesh Panchal. Social distance if more than 2 people.
Yes, we can handle social distancing for 4, 6, and 8 people as well. If the screen has 50 and 60 people, then obviously we need to set the cameras into a deep learning pattern and it becomes a project-based solution. But yes, for about 6 to 8 people, social distancing can be sold as a product as well.
Sir, one anonymous attendee asked question: can we use any IP camera for temperature measurement with CamCheck?
No, temperature measurement specifically has to be done only with thermal cameras. In that, you can use any thermal camera. We are tied up with IDIS, but you can use any thermal camera. You can use Hikvision, you can use Dahua, any solution that you have as far as thermal is concerned. We may not be able to integrate it with our AI, but if you want just the data, any thermal camera integration with our AI, we are not integrating with all brands. We are working with IDIS in order to integrate it with our AI solutions.
Okay. So Mr. Salim Akhtar asking question: is it possible to get all facility like mass recognition, person counting, material counting, social distance maintenance by single camera at a time?
It is possible to get all the parameters at one point of time. Again, it depends on how many cameras are there in the system. Then the processing would depend on whether we keep the processor at your end or on the cloud. But theoretically, yes, we can have a single camera that does multiple parameter processing, which could include mask, social distancing, people counting, as well as object counting.
Mr. Jilesh Javeri again asking a question: do we need black body for temperature measurement in IDIS?
IDIS thermal cameras do not require a black body calibration. Yes, for social distancing, Himanshu, we can use any IP camera with a decent resolution to check social distancing. We can use pretty much any IP stream as long as it is on with compliant and the stream comes to us. Again, we have a certain documentation that we will give you in order to give us that stream. And again, if it's a project based, then once our servers are at the client's premises, we can pretty much do this. Mahesh Bhai, if you have a question, please feel free to ask in the question and answer box. It'll be easier for us to take our questions over there. There's a Q&A box there on your screen. If you can just click on that and ask any questions. We still have another 10 minutes before we can wind this up. So if there's any further queries, please feel free to ask in the question and answer box. I can see a question that's talking about the count of boxes during truck loading. Well, again, if the boxes are inside a pallet, provided they have a standard size, we'll be able to train our cameras to count them. If they are multiple sizes, we'll not be able to recognize them as a box. So I hope that answers your question, Anand bhai. Again, at a project phase, we can discuss this. That's not a problem. We can figure out how to count it, and we can do a POC also. That's not an issue.
So Mr. Mahesh Kulkarni asking, and found option is it available?
Sorry, what is the question again?
And found option, is it available?
Mahesh, I'm not understanding your
lost
question.
and found. Maybe he asking for lost and found.
Yeah, the lost and found option is also available using AI. Color differentiation, lost and found, all these options are pretty much standard AI options that are available in the system. Not a part of our offering today, and not a part of our standard product offering. But again, like I said, AI is basically limited by your imagination. So if you have a solution, a problem that needs solving, we can find a solution based on vision. It just depends on processing speed and the cost of the cameras, etc., which will go up obviously based upon how complex your requirement is. But pretty much all requirements can be solved based upon costs and various other parameters like that. Perimeter based roll call, I'm assuming you're talking about geofencing. Yes, we do have perimeter based roll call as well. Like I said, the solution that we pitched allows you GPS as well as Bluetooth. It's an and or solution. You can choose to use one or both of them, any one or both of them at a similar solution. So when they enter a particular geofence, their attendance can automatically be marked. You can also use the Bluetooth beacon as an additional measure for any on-prem solution. That means obviously inside an office. And when the person's on the move, they can use only the GPS. Okay, requesting anyone who's raising their hands to kindly type in your question in the question and answer chat box. It becomes a little easier for me to answer it rather than have a look at multiple screens over here. So I really appreciate that.
Okay, sir. Question from Mr. Sudhir Chopra: can existing system be upgraded to a CamCheck system with thermal cameras?
Any existing system can be put on the CamCheck interface as long as we get access into that system. I'll just clarify that, Sudhirji. Basically, the parameter involved is that if you have a DVR or an NVR, we can get that onto CamCheck. However, if you are from a company that has got certain restrictions with regards to public IP being made available to any supplier or any service provider, in such a case, we offer CamCheck as an on-prem solution as well. So if the amount of cameras is again going into project phase, we can easily give you the CamCheck solution, move it from our cloud and put it onto either your cloud or your data center, your own service, and implement the solution from there. So yes, in that respect, we can use CamCheck completely with existing systems. To answer the second part of your question, can the systems be upgraded to get thermal data? No, you can't change your current setup unless you change your cameras. So thermal cameras are a different league altogether. You need to change the cameras per se. And if you're on an analog system, obviously you need to go into an IP system and completely upgrade. So theoretically, if you are willing to upgrade your system, yes, we can shift CamCheck. Anyway, you don't need an upgradation. We can go as is. But for the thermal solutions, that is particularly thermal reading, you require cameras. However, if you are referring to the AI parameters, that is just mask and social distancing, we can use your existing setup, provided the resolution is decent, and we can, we need to install the processing power whether at your premises or our cloud. Yes, we can use it. So thermal is temperature detection, cameras required. Mask and social distancing, fresh cameras not required. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, sir. Question from Mr. Samir Company. Is CamCheck a subscription-based model?
Yes, Samir, CamCheck is solely a subscription-based model. Even when we implement the on-premises solution for any client who has a higher security requirement, for example, the Mumbai City Surveillance Project, even then it's a subscription-based model, and the subscription amount remains pretty much the same. It's just that you have to bear a small additional cost of integration onto your service.
A question from Mr. Ravindra Thengdi.
Yeah.
How the output is monitored or action taken? Is the registered somewhere, particular at VIP location?
So if you have a monitoring, let's assume there is a VIP location somewhere remotely, say Lonavala, and you have a monitoring station at that location, and you have an instance of our software running at that client or a server, you can get the alert on the screen on that machine. Our server also has the ability, the software is integrated with SMS service. It can send out the alert over SMS and email as well. And I can send it out along with a picture over the email as well. Okay, this is the image of the alert, and send out that image. So you can get your alerts at the remote location, at the head office, and also on your mobile phone. I hope that answers your question, Ravindra.
So question from Mr. Mahesh Kulkarni. With AI, can we analyze with mask face and provide the probable face?
Yeah, so see, Mahesh bhai, there are certain OEMs that are claiming that we can recognize face with masks also, and it's something that we are working on right now. I don't want to commit to that until we have done some more testing. At this moment, we've achieved some amount of success, but I will not say that we are 100% able to do that right now. And there are certain OEMs in the market that are offering it. I personally haven't had the opportunity because of lockdown to test those solutions. So I can't answer that question with any degree of certainty, but I'm saying yes, theoretically that is possible. And once I have run some more checks, I will connect offline with you and give you my reading on that. But at this point, I'm not really sure how that works, and I don't want to commit either which way that it does or it doesn't work, because I'm not 100% certain about the efficacy due to the lockdown. I haven't had enough testing chances.
Okay, one more question from Mr. Samir Company. Can I get any promotional material of CamCheck to forward to our client with my contact details?
Yeah, so Samir, definitely connect with me offline after this. If you have my number, we'll definitely work something out. No worry about it. I have a document that I can send you, and you can send it to your clients. No problem. Are there any other queries? Because we still have another 5 minutes of time. I think we finished before time. So is there any more queries? Otherwise, we can wrap up this webinar, and probably anyone who has any other queries is of course more than welcome. My contact details are on the screen over there. So you're welcome to get in touch with me. I will stop sharing of this particular thing right now, and I will check to see if there's anything in the chat box that requires my attention, because I haven't had a chance to see that as yet. Okay. I hope that all of you managed to see the CamCheck demo. If not, would you like me to run through another 3-minute demo? If you want, I can do that. If anyone has any other queries with regards, I can see some people saying the screen didn't change. So if there is some problem. Then...
So sorry to interrupt you. Mr. Suji Chopra asking for, can we get the this PPT?
Most certainly, Sudhirji. I can definitely send it across to you. So I can run through the CamCheck demo again if you want. If everything was not okay, I will just run through that and show it to you all. If anyone wants to stay for it, it's just a 3 minutes, 4 minutes demo. So yes, I'm going to share my screen once again. Please give me feedback. I think I was not really sure that the last screen was seen or not. I'm going to go back to the CamCheck interface and share my screen. Just a second. Can you see the CamCheck screen?
Yes, we can see.
Yeah, Vaibhav, you can see that?
Yeah, I can see.
Right, so I'm going to go back to the CamCheck demo and just start off one more time. I'm going to go to my dashboard. So for all those that missed this demo, I'm really sorry if there was some sort of a glitch at that point of time. I'm quickly going to run through the CamCheck demo one more time. Like I said, CamCheck is nothing but a CCTV, remote CCTV health monitoring tool that, as the name suggests, checks the health of CCTV systems anywhere in the world, either based on your package, whether it's 5 minutes or once per hour. At this particular time, you set up a demo interface. This group is called Rohit 2. In the Rohit 2 group, there are multiple DVRs that you can see. Okay, these are the various DVRs with various locations, and you can see the first one. Let's just see the second one. The second DVR here, it's my office in Bandra. The time it was checked was 15:07. Okay, that was little under an hour ago. The next one will upgrade at 16:07. Okay, so at 15:07 it was checked, and as you can see here, these are the IP details for that particular. That's my public IP, my static IP. The DDNS, HTTP, and the server RTSP ports, etc., are the IP ports that indicate that the system is being pinged. It's being queried correctly, and anything in green indicates that your ports are configured correctly. The DEV time shows that the time at that point of time in the DVR was 15:07. I'll again run you through to the check. I'm sorry, it's the second one, my mistake. The second one, it was 15:03, and the time of check was 15:07. That means there was a 4-minute difference in the time on the DVR and the actual time, which is an indicator for you to change the time. Next one, as you can see, shows a 7,000-hour deficit. That is because for many days now, there has been a data error and that DVR is not being queried. It must be switched off because the premises might be shut in the lockdown. Secondly, this one has a connection failure, and this is 3,321 hours ago, the connection has failed. So going back to the second DVR in question, which is my office DVR, you can see all the cameras are working correctly at this point of time. Okay, so I will quickly go and show you what the system does. I'll go to the scan button. I'll say show last snapshots. I will run task, and then it will show me here. You can see these are the images of the cameras at that point of time. And I can see here in our office, these are the cameras in and outside our office, which is showing over here. So these photographs are stored along with this data for 30 days. If I want history of my particular DVR, I can click right here. And this takes me to 30 days of history of my DVR, telling me that every hour that it was checked for the past 30 days, this is how your data was. So it is checked at 15:07, 14:07, 13:07, and so on and so forth. And this is what is happening at this point of time. As you can see, most of the cameras towards the end have that R. That R indicates motion at that point of time. And you can see only the outdoor cameras obviously have motion because my office, as we all know, has been shut. Hence, most of the outdoor cameras only are the ones with motion, and the ones indoor don't have any motion over there. And that's how the system works. Along with this system, we also have something called a wall, which I didn't show you the last time. And the wall is nothing but a monitoring tool. Now, again, when I use the word VMS, we call it video monitoring and not video management. So if I type wall over here, this wall will typically take you to an interface wherein multiple DVRs are in this group and they show up as a grid in this fashion. This is the photograph that was taken at 15:07. This could also have been a 5-minute interface, so it would be 5 minutes ago if that was the case. Now, as you can see, the grid size is at this point of time 8:3. We can set the grid size based upon how big our screen is. So I can simply say, I want my grid size to be bigger. So I want 12 per row instead of 8 per row. And the grid size becomes bigger, and now my number of pages has become 2. Earlier my number of pages was 4. I can also tell the system, okay, I want only 4 images per line, in which case I get only 8 images per screen, and then the screen becomes 12 screens. I can also, depend upon how I want to monitor, tell my system that, listen, I want these pages to flip automatically every, say, X number of seconds, 10 seconds. Now, while I'm talking, you will see over the next 10 seconds that this page will flip, and the next 8 cameras will come into question, then the next 8, then the next 8, until all 12 pages are over, and then it will go back to page number 1. So it's nothing but an auto switcher, which basically allows monitoring without constantly looking at your screen or constantly flipping the page. What we've also done in this system is given a small video snapshot. Now, as I told you many times, we don't believe in downloading video because it's very heavy. However, we have compiled a small time-lapse video in this fashion where we take the last 12 snapshots, which means if it's a demo interface, it's obviously once an hour, so last 12 hours ka ek snapshot. And if it is if it's an interface which is every 5 minutes, you get one hour ka time-lapse video. I'm going to click on one of these images to show you how exactly that works. So let's say I click on this image here. The moment I click on it, the last 12 images get loaded. When I click on the play button here, this gives me the last 12 snapshots. You'll see the time frame changing and that little cobweb moving around over there, which indicates that the frame of that photo is changing, and you're seeing essentially a time-lapse video. That's what you're seeing. Now, apart from this feature, we made another interesting feature is in case you see a problem in this particular camera here, okay, and you want to go and see कि इसका recording कब हुआ, क्या problem था. We have allowed our client to directly click over here rather than figure out which location, which DVR, which camera number, etc. Just have to remember the DVR here. Just click on this square here. And the moment you click on this square, it takes you to a page, which is the login page for that DVR. It could be a CP Plus DVR, it could be a Hikvision DVR, it could be a Dawana. Here is where our software stops doing any work. All it really does, it takes you to the login page. If that login page is active, in this case, as you can see, it is not, you'll be able to go back over there. If not, then it will take you, you can come back and check it from our interface. I just tried with another DVR in question here. Let's see if this one works. Yeah, it takes you to the login page of that DVR, as you can see, like this here. This is a Hikvision DVR. It could have been a Dawa, it could have been a CP Plus, and it takes you to that login page. So this essentially is how CamCheck works, and I hope that you know the demo was fruitful. If anyone has any further queries, I still think we have another few minutes left where we can take a few more queries. So I'm happy to take some queries. Are there any more questions, Weber, that I have missed? No, I don't think there's any queries. I think again, you guys have seen my contact details. You know, on the I'm going to show them to you one more time. If you like, you can just get in touch with me over email anytime you want, and let me know if there's any way I can help you out. So with that having been said, I want to thank each and every one of you participants for making it convenient to attend this webinar. I hope that it has been educational for you. If there's any further doubts that need clarification, please feel free to get in touch with us. And once again, I want to thank you all so much. Still, those that wish to leave, welcome to. Those that wish to, again, ask me a few more queries, I'm still here for the next few minutes. So please feel free to ask me any queries that you might have. It is a video auditing software, Himanshu. It is exactly a video auditing software with a lot more features. So not only does it's a real-time alert software, it's a video auditing and compliance software. It's also a video monitoring tool, which allows you to monitor technically photographs, but it allows you to monitor your streams to ensure that you're getting video. So a pure auditing software only give you a report and tell you how many cameras are working, etc. Not maybe at the end of every day or week. Our auditing software gives you A, real-time reports, B, the ability to tell you whether cameras are working or not working with zero human intervention whatsoever. Okay, you don't have to sit and see any screens or any such thing. You straight away get an alert saying camera number 4, DVR number 50 is not working at so-and-so location. And third, it is also a video monitoring tool which allows you to compile photographs from multiple brands into a single interface, which is rather unique in today's scenario, and not many people are offering a solution like this.
Sir, Shamal Das asking for, can it record voice?
We do not record either video or voice. In fact, we don't record anything at all. Each of those images that you saw in my CamCheck interface is between 14 kilobytes and 35 kilobytes typically. And the reason why we keep it light is because we have issues with clients, poor guys who have 50, 80, 100, 200, 500 locations. They have bandwidth issues and can't monitor their systems correctly, which is why we have kept our system typically light. So no, we do not record video and we do not record audio. We only take snapshots to alert the client about A, the angle of the camera, B, the halat of the image and the resolution, etc., to understand systems are working, not working, and as a compliance tool to ensure compliance and audit tool to ensure that yes, the DVR in question was there and was indeed recording at some point in time in the event that a DVR is either stolen, vandalized, or destroyed in fire. To answer your question, Himanshu, clients are going in for live video feeds. I'll give you a small use case, a case study which I had. A client of mine came to me about 16 months ago and said they have 80 outlets across the country which needed monitoring real time to ensure that the staff was working correctly. We set up, which against my advice, set up a video monitoring station at their office in Bombay. And that video monitoring station got plagued with ISP issues at all their, not even tier 2 and tier 3 towns, but even some of their tier 1 cities had ISP issues. And more importantly, the ISP issue at the head office became big because they were looking at 80 streams into 16 cameras coming in all at one time. So when you're on a typical broadband connection, unless you have lease line at both ends or some sort of an MPLS, you are going to face issues trying to put so many streams into the picture. And ultimately, what are you doing? You're only checking kaam ho raha hai ki nahi. You don't actually, an operator can never sit and watch 80 venues at one time and say, ye kya kar raha hai, ye staff ne khola, ye watchman ne kya kiya. It's not possible. So the whole point is to ensure cameras are working, have compliance, have the ability to go into the DVR and check recording if you need to, have a snapshot of the last 1 hour. All these things we have built into our interface after learning in real case scenarios. Needless to say, that particular client in question immediately realized this project is going to fail, and after a certain amount of months of trying, switched over to CamCheck immediately. Yeah, any queries that are left to answer? Should we close this webinar? I think that we have answered most of the queries. Thank you again, everybody, for being here. I am available for you for any other further queries you might have on my email ID shown on the screen, and hope to catch you in the next one, which will probably be a week or two from today. So thank you all. Have a lovely evening, and this is Rohit signing off from CEBEX Security Systems.